It's just a game, Booty.
Just a
Chill
game.
out.
Listen to you. Listen to you.
Yeah,
Okay, yellow, Riley.
What I went through as a child didn't just affect me. It affected my family, it affected my sister, it affected my parents, my immediate family, even my friends. Like, it was very intense for everyone because you don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. Like, my friends would literally know their exact wedding details by the time we were like in 6th or 7th grade. And I never did that. I was always very hesitant about making these worldly plans because I really wasn't sure how long it was going to be.
it's hard to fathom how someone has had as much courage as she has growing up and stuff.
I remember coming out of preschool and seeing my mom, and I was limping because I said my hip had hurt.
That night, she had a fever of 105. Took her to the hospital, ER. They took her up to surgery, opened up her hip.
It's a sinus infection that kind of drained into my hip because my body could not fight it off. This is not a normal thing for a child to have happened to.
Then we went back to the doctor, to an immunologist. And he tells me, because she's got this disease called ADA deficiency. She does not have the gene, a functional gene, that actually produces the enzyme it takes to break down red cell death. If you don't have that, the toxins attack the lymphocytes, and you have no immune system. So he goes, we're going to put her in, we're going to see if we can get her into this experimental program. Only 8 other children in the world at the time who were on that. When she was about 8, he wanted to send her blood up to NIH, see if they have this program with gene therapy, and she is a candidate.
It hadn't been out on the market. That was what I needed to survive. I do remember signing the papers to actually have the gene therapy administered. I thought, well, if this works, then these kids are all going to be saved, and that's going to be awesome. But if this doesn't work, then they know what to do next.
That was one of her first questions. Is this going to help other people? Shouldn't be just me.
The first gene therapy ever, I was watching Willow, the movie Willow, and I'm wearing my New Kids on the Block t-shirt that is now in the Smithsonian, by the way. I was this little local celebrity at like 9 and 10 years old. Like, you are being known for being this medical marvel. And I say that because that's what they called us. It was like a very intense thing that happened. Before I had gotten any type of treatments, I was very tired, wanted to play with my friends and just could not keep up with them. Then I was able to not miss as much school. I was playing softball and I wasn't getting tired, and I was doing the things that I've always wanted to do. But honestly, it was the experience itself was scary. It was very difficult for me to understand, I guess at the time, what was happening. Until I got older and I realized, like, okay, that's why there's this depression. That's why there's this anxiety. It was very, how am I going to make myself feel better at this moment because everything that I'm doing is not working? And then I realized, this is not the way. I can be healthful and I can be part of society in a better way. And so I got into, recovery programs. I got into different types of counseling. I suffer from PTSD. To actually be able to process it and understand this is what has happened to me. This is okay. Let's move forward from this. Let's see what we can do to help others that are also dealing with this. That was a big thing for me. So it was very kismet when I started working as an outreach coordinator for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Lived experience is huge because it allows people to understand that they're not alone. And that is all I've ever wanted people to realize, is that, like, you're not alone. You're not the only one. And that is probably one of the biggest things that I wish was available when I was younger, was a support group for kids to be like, I get it. I know how it is. I've been there. So I created this program called the Student Series, and it's basically me just going in and talking to kids anywhere from, 2nd grade all the way up until high school about mental health.
How many of you have heard that? How about if you've ever had a
like what they can expect to see if something's happening in their life, how they can help other people, how they can identify if something's going on with themselves or their friends or their family members, who to call, where to go for help.
She does focus very highly on the whole emotional and physical problems of the world.
And she cares a lot about others.
Yeah. She's got vision. Yeah, her vision will take her places.
My life is very different from what I had imagined, which is a good thing. I'm married now. I've been married for 10 years, which I never thought was going to happen. And not just because I didn't think I was going to make it to this age, but because I didn't think that there was going to be anyone out there that was going to get me.
She's always been the most selfless person I've ever met. I've had my own struggles, she's had hers. And we've both been able to grow regardless of those obstacles just because we never really gave up trying.
This is exactly more than I could have imagined. I'm successful not only in my work and my career, but I'm successful with my marriage, successful in my home life. I mean, above all, I'm reliable and I'm supportive, and I can be there for those the way that I've always wanted to.